Hi, welcome to ESG TV. My name is Raj Arya and I'm here at iGEM 2019 live. And with me right now, I have Brian Cracknell. Thank you so much for being here today. Now, to get the ball rolling, I'm sure some of our viewers out there would like to know what is LanguageWorks all about and what is green project management?
Okay, thanks Raj, thanks for inviting me. And yeah, LanguageWorks is a sustainable learning company. So basically we want to make sure that all the learning programs, learning experiences that we offer, that they stick in people's memory and that there are definite benefits and results from them. So whether they're language programs, communication skills, trainer training, or the green project management that you mentioned, we want to make sure that these are tailor-made, that they're suitable for the Malaysian context and for the people who are in the course. They're engaging. They have to be very, very innovative and have all of these qualities nowadays to be able to stick. In terms of the green project management, this is a certificated program that we are the global training partner to offer the program in ASEAN and especially in Malaysia. And basically this is a qualification that we think is very good for young managers, young graduates in the competitive business world that we're going to have. It gives them a qualification that will help them to be able to manage projects in this very complex business environment that we have, and to be able to manage those projects efficiently, productively, and ethically.
Fair enough. Now, obviously, green and sustainability are buzzwords that we've been hearing quite a fair bit about in recent years. How do you see the trend moving in that direction, perhaps from a business perspective as well from a public perspective, consumer's perspective?
Okay, well, yeah, sure. I mean, there are many different perceptions and interpretations of green. And I think, yeah, it has become a bit of a buzzword. Maybe we need to carefully choose our language. So even the phrase sustainable, for example, there's a lot of evidence recently. I was at a conference last week where we were talking about using the word regenerative. People are talking about things like ancestral practices, ancestral technologies. I think we need to be using a wider variety of vocabulary perhaps. But in terms of the public perception of this, I think it is shifting. I think we've got in the last 10 years much more appreciation of the fact that we do have to pay heed to the green factors. But I would say that we tend to still think of green as relating only to the environment, whereas with green project management we have a standard which is the P5, and that is people, planet, prosperity, not just profit, process and product. So the idea is that every professional green project manager should be mindful of those 5 elements and should be planning for those, monitoring those, and delivering a project that is sustainable in all 5 areas.
Makes a lot of sense, integrating all 5 together. But now the question comes about, businesses tend to be more profit focused, maximizing returns for their shareholders and so forth. So how do we change that mindset for them to shift away from that traditional sense that perhaps doing their bit for the environment or focusing on these areas could be beneficial to them in the long run?
Right, sure. Well, again, it used to be the case a few years ago. It's very hard to justify a lot of these sustainability measures in terms of return on investment and profit. But I think we're seeing now that we're waking up to the fact that we are, whether you agree with one side of the argument or another, humans are having a huge impact on the world that we live in. So we need to be doing something to mitigate this. So this gives us a tool which enables us to deliver results that are environmentally let's say environmentally sensitive, but also I think the evidence is there now that we're seeing not just customers, but also investors, potential employees of companies now beginning to say, unless you show that you are green, sustainable, regenerative, whatever word you want to use, then we will not buy from you, we will not work with you, we will not invest in you. And I think this is gradually turning around the picture. So we're beginning to see that it's no longer seen as something that is unprofitable, if you like. And again, the whole idea, even with the P5 that we have, people, planet, prosperity, product and process. Prosperity doesn't necessarily mean just profit. It's not just dollars. There could be well-being benefits. There could be other community, societal benefits that accrue from that.
Well said. So obviously the world has been changing quite a fair bit in recent times. So looking at it right now, taking a step back, where are we as humanity in terms of what's happening on Mother Earth today?
Well, you have to say that if you look at measurements like World Overshoot Day, for example, the day on which we see that humanity has consumed more resources than it can put back into the environment. This year that came earlier, it was July 29th, I believe. Last year it was in August. So that measure shows that we're still not really being sustainable as a whole on the planet. There are many countries, including my own, the UK, who are not living up to their promises that they made around the Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Accord. You could say, some people are saying that the SDGs and the Paris Climate Accord are dead in the water already, and that we've got to redouble our efforts to move ahead with achieving those goals. But I would say that you know, there's an encouraging sense of hope from younger people in particular, and I think we've got to draw our hope and inspiration from that. And I think we have a duty to them, because that's part of the sustainability definition. We shouldn't be leaving a world that harms the interests and the needs of the coming generation. So I think we're getting a message from the young, and the young are right. We have to be looking at how do we operate our businesses, how do we manage our projects, and how do we deliver this work in a way which doesn't harm the environment, which helps us as humans to move on economically and in well-being terms, and also the process and the way that we deliver the products has got to be done in an engaging and environmentally friendly and an efficient and productive way.
Well said, Brian. And before we end this interview, is there any parting words you would like to share out with our viewers around the world in terms of perhaps what we can do to make the world a better place?
Okay, well, I think that in terms of something to work towards, the Sustainable Development Goals, whether they're working out or not, give us a platform. They give us something that we can all work towards. So I would encourage anybody who hasn't yet heard of the Sustainable Development Goals, go and have a look at them, look at how you can map your project activities around a couple of those at least. It doesn't have to be all of them. And for example, one of those SDGs, SDG number 17, partnerships for the goals, that's a principle that we hold very dear in our company. Everybody who works with us upholds that idea, and we believe very strongly in partnerships. One of the things that we're doing here today is strengthening those partnerships with people who are working towards a sustainable future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian. And there you have it, Brian Cracknell, International Network Director from Language Works Sdn Bhd. Do stay tuned for more exciting interviews right here on ESG TV. Take care.